Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alphaneme. So we're going to talk a little bit about Algorand today. You know, I'm always excited when there's any type of news that I come across about banks. But first, let's start off talking about the Thief video that had Steve Koibanx in it. And so let's get into this now. Just a few tidbits about what Steve Koibanx was talking about in that video. So they want blockchain, as far as Algorand, to be able to be used every single day. And obviously, I think it's logical that if you want the blockchain to be used every single day, that it cannot be used on a small scale, but you want it to be used on a massive scale, which also makes sense because you want the mass adoption of your particular protocol. So Algorand obviously has deep roots in the United States already and on a myriad of levels, not only just with civilians, but also with the federal government. As you have seen, did we cover that article? Was that a members only video or a subscriber video? I can't remember. I'm lost, guys. I can't remember. But in one of the videos recently, we covered the fact that Algorand will be working with MIT, right? Neha Narula, who was working also with Maiden Labs. I would expect Maiden Labs to be involved. You can't cut Maiden Labs out. They are absolutely brilliant. So you have Maiden Labs, possibly. You have MIT's research department, digital currency research department, and Algorand all working together, right? This is a fact. So I told you before that I believe that Algorand will begin doing some work with MIT, and because Silvio Macaulay is of MIT. Now, how does that connect with the federal government of the United States? As many of you know, Neha Narula, the MIT Digital Currency Research Department, as well as Maiden Labs, were the ones who came together, put together that document for the federal government, the Boston Fed, okay? That is huge when it comes down to recommendations or what protocol is respected, what they might possibly use for a digital US dollar, wholesale, retail, it doesn't matter, right? Oh man, if they go wholesale. Algorand is in there. So Algorand has deep ties in the United States on both levels. Keep in mind, everybody, I know there's a lot of veteran Algorand holders that are watching this video, but a lot of people are new, so they don't understand the beauty of what Algorand has already established. Muy linda, mi gente. So that is very important because why? If Algorand acts as an agnostic bridge currency for the federal government or the states, right? That will make that price skyrocket. Not only that, let's say they get into actually working with the federal government and they act as a liquidity provider. Oh, that price would explode. These are things that I'm trying to keep my eye on. It's very difficult, but we're all doing our best here, right? So when he says everyday use, understand the different levels that Algorand is operating on. I read a little bit deeper into it. So when he says he wants people to be able to use Algorand every single day, obviously I extrapolate that to meaning not only civilians, but also the federal government. Oh, we're going to get deep into that also. Governments will be using Algorand, possibly. We're going to get into that. Just hang tight. All right, so also he highlighted the national projects, which shows you where their minds are, what they think the big picture is. He highlighted national projects, obviously, as I've been talking about for a long time. Haven't I been talking about Koibanx in Colombia? Haven't I been talking about Koibanx in Argentina, right? And El Salvador? Haven't I been speaking on these things? And then Steve Koibanx of Algorand goes on to highlight Colombia, and when Koibanx used Algorand to track the redacted thing that was happening. They tracked all the tests and things of that nature, and people, who were taking these tests and things of that nature. He highlighted that also. So it shows you where their minds are when they need to highlight something in front of central bank officials and government officials, which there were very powerful people on that particular panel of Thief. All right. So their minds are on the national projects when they have to present something to someone, and that's only going to increase. What we saw before is nothing compared to what is going to be coming. We're going to get into that in a moment, as I just said. So they also highlighted Planet Watch, of course. He also highlighted Planet Watch as Algorand is one of the greenest. That's very important because the governments don't want anything that's not green. That's just the way that it goes. They have the power. That's what they're saying. So the companies and foundation, if they want to continue to make money, have to acquiesce to that. They have to give in to that. So Algorand has no problem with that. Algorand is green. Hedera is carbon negative. I think XRP is carbon neutral, and I think XLM is either carbon neutral or carbon negative, one of the two. So all the bank coins are in the clear, not only regulatory compliant, but they are in the clear as far as environmental impact. In fact, they help the environment. Some of them tracked and do traceability protocol for how many trees are getting planted in regions that need it. So they're doing a great job. So last but certainly not least, they were, I don't remember if it was Steve or the host. They highlighted that it's very difficult right now in the regulatory landscape to even know which regulator to go to. Didn't I say that recently? I said, who do you go to? You don't even know what to comply with. Who do you comply with, right? So you need an entirely new governing supervisory body in order to even regulate crypto, right? This is a new asset class, and with utility, by the way, with utility, and they're also currencies. It's something new, so you need something new, and you need minds that are actually in tune with what the technology does in order for them to be able to regulate this particular technology. Boom. All right. So I don't know where I don't know where that came from. That was something random just to keep my mind active. I can get lost in thought sometimes. So, okay, let's continue on here. So then I was doing a search on the internet. I wanted to get an update on Algorand's, interaction with banks and such, see if there was anything out there. And of course, WadzPay came up. Now, many of you probably have heard of WadzPay, but maybe some of you have not. So we're going to go over that right now. WadzPay wants to use Algorand to act as a cryptocurrency rail, possibly liquidity provider for governments and CBDCs. And they want to, they made it clear on their website, you can go to their website, that they really want to go after the B2B market. Why is that important? The B2B market at its low end, according to Visa, and a lot of people on the channel downloaded that Visa PDF. They wanted to, Visa indicated that they believe that they could scrape up, what was it, 71, I think it was $71 trillion of money that there was that they could possibly take off that market, that they could possibly scrape up access, right? That's on the low end. If you actually do a search for the money that's flowing through the B2B cross-border remittance market, is something like 140 trillion, 150 trillion. It is multiples of hundreds of trillions of dollars. Well, multiple hundred trillion. Like pretty much the numbers I just said. Sorry about that. I make mistakes all the time. I'm open to being corrected. But I believe you know what I'm saying. That is a lot of money, is what I'm saying. A lot of money. So WadzPay is acting on accessing that with Algorand. Now, interesting part, and I told people this before, that a lot of entities that were building on Ethereum would swap out Ethereum for, what did I say before? What were the protocol? It was Algorand or Hedera. Remember I said that? Okay. So they were originally building with Ethereum. I believe that now that they're bringing Algorand in, they're probably replacing Ethereum, as they probably have had a lot of problems with it, just like Consensus had problems. Consensus failed like twice with central bank digital currencies. I believe, according to articles, right? They probably ran into issues with Ethereum, especially when it comes to fees and scalability. Who will want those high fees? You might as well stick with the legacy system. They're going to be replacing, I believe, Ethereum with Algorand. They have to switch their entire diagram around. The diagram still has Ethereum at the core. So, but you've seen the big articles come out where WadzPay is utilizing Algorand now for all of those very same things. You don't need two smart contract platforms unless you're doing an MBDC, and you would hold your MBDC back or your MCBDC back by including something so sluggish and archaic like Ethereum. No shade or hate to Ethereum, still going to make people a lot of money. But when you're stepping into the field of the bank coins, you got to step out of the way if you're a legacy system offering, a legacy crypto offering like Ethereum. You just don't match up to Algorand and Hedera. That's just a fact, okay? So they want to use Algorand for those things. If that happens, that price will raise. Do you know where we're going? Raise a toe. That price would raise. All right, so let's read this little article here, this little bit here. This is on prnewswire.com, and then we're going to go a little bit further because there's certain things I want to show you that maybe you didn't know. WadzPay selects Algorand to power a digital asset and payments revolution for its partner network of governments, financial institutions, issuers, and beyond. So look how they worded that, okay? This is from, it says news provided by Algorand. So this is factual information. So they already, it says partners. So they already have these entities lined up. They already have governments lined up, financial institutions lined up, issuers and beyond lined up. So this is coming, which means this is an exciting time for Algorand. So let's go a little bit forward. I'm not going to delve too deeply into that. Okay, this is WadzPay.com, just showing how they set everything up. I'm not going to go over that. I want to get to, okay, so WadzPay also is using XDC. That's another thing. They're working with Zenfin to utilize XDC also, which XDC obviously is a settlement token. It will not get in the way of Algorand at all. Actually, they complement each other very, very well. Let's move on here. I uncovered so many things. So they hired, I'm trying to remember, where is this person from, this entity from here? They have some heavy hitters on WadzPay, which is why I wanted to highlight them. Okay, so they hired Priyanka Chadha, who is the former World Bank HR consultant. The former World Bank HR consultant. So they have World Bank ties now. Think about that for a moment. This company is going to make an impact. You might say, well, that's just one person, Mick. What else you got? I got something else. Like, I got, Mick, that's not proper language. I'm not always proper, quite rebellious. Let's go here. They're bringing in heavy hitters. WadzPay, do what you do. I want that money. They also hired Parag Khanna. Parag Khanna, you know, from Swift. They hired the guy from Swift. You know, the guy that's the head of, he was over Africa and somewhere else. Where else was he over? Does it say? He was over the Swift department over the Middle East and Africa. That guy? If they pull this off, that price is going to explode. This is why I'm telling people, the patient people. And I understand it's hard times, but the patient people may get more than they bargained for. That price is going to explode. The utility, the setup is beautiful. Muy linda, mi gente. Woo. Listen, the bank coins are winning. Oh man, these are some heavy hitters. You have WadzPay building for CBDCs on Algorand, right? You have Koibanx dominating Latin America, building for CBDCs and payroll. Don't you ever forget the payroll on Algorand. Facts. Look all of these things up, guys. Please do your own research. That's all I'm here to do, is encourage and spark your mind. Spark your mind. You do your own research. Become a better researcher than I am. Go further than I do. All right, and get that money. It's your time. It's your time. Get that money. You have Koibanx, and then you have Algorand itself. With Stacey Warden. Man, listen. It's a beautiful setup. Perfect alley-oop for Kobe to slam it down, Jordan to slam it down. Perfect alley-oop. Let's go forward a little bit here. Okay, so we also have Koibanx making more moves. They have more activity. Every like 2 weeks, Koibanx is going insane in a good way. I mean, they're doing a lot is what I mean. And making new moves in Latin America. They want to dominate, and they're utilizing what? They've been utilizing en masse Algorand. Don't get me wrong. I believe they could have utilized other blockchains, but they've been using Algorand so far everywhere. Okay, so let's hope that continues. But we have Koibanx here with more activity. This is an article from LatAm FinTech, okay, Latin American FinTech.co. Koibanx flying the blockchain flag in Latin America. This is the stuff that really gets me excited. So here's why this is so important, right? So it says, powering the innovative scheme run in partnership with the authorities of Marco Paz, Buenos Aires province, is a blockchain solution created by Argentine tech firm Koibanx. Why is this important? So it says, powering the innovative scheme. Okay, so I want to get right to this part. There's an important part here. Okay, the Marcos Paz scheme is one of several of Koibanx's financial product initiatives in Latin America, and it illustrates the scope of the distributed ledger technology. So you have them running this particular this particular financial offering already, building infrastructure for it in in Brazil, okay? In Brazil. And then what has happened recently in Brazil that shows you that there's about to be mass adoption in Brazil. And who knows when it's going to come, but it's very, very close, right? You have the biggest digital bank in Brazil, Nubank, offering now trading services for Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think it's Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let me just click this here for a moment. It is. They're offering, finally, this just happened a few days ago. They're offering trade services finally for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, if that bank is going to do it, and it is a very profitable bank, this is a bank that is also backed by Berkshire Hathaway, who invested $1 billion in it. They're not trying to lose. They're going for the victory. If they're doing it, there's going to be other banks that do that. Right? They're going to see the money that's coming in. They're going to see the backing that they've gotten, and those banks will want it as well because they need it. A lot of businesses and banks down there are struggling, but they're doing a little bit. They're starting to do a little bit better with innovation, and that innovation is what's going to lead to the explosions in Latin America. And if you see the countries that have been more innovative, especially with their monetary policies and things like that, they started to do a little bit better. This is why they're all moving towards the blockchain. Now, let's circle that back around. So you have Nubank backed by Berkshire Hathaway now doing trades for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that means that there's the possibility that other banks will observe this if they're wise, and then they will also probably adopt trading services for Bitcoin and Ethereum as they want in on that money, right? The markets won't always be down. They'll definitely go back up, and that money will look delicious. And in Brazil, we already have Koibanx setting up infrastructure for not only payroll, but they have this particular offering there that they're doing. I mean, there's so much, there's so much going on. I think, and I'm going to sum it up with this. I think Koibanx can take Brazil. They're headquartered there. It's hard for me to believe they're not making phone calls and landing deals and partnerships that haven't been announced yet. It's hard for me to believe that, especially when they're doing what they're doing in Argentina. They're doing what they're doing in Colombia, El Salvador. Listen, I think we can take Brazil. If we take Brazil, muy linda mi gente, the money will be unbelievable. Can I whisper it? Shh, unbelievable. We have to whisper. There's so many people that don't believe in Algo. I don't know why. I don't know why. You've seen what they're capable of doing. You see all the have you seen the partnership diagram? They have so many partnerships. They have some of the most brilliant minds. Listen, good money is always going to be made with brilliant minds. They know what they're doing, all right? Algorand is headed by brilliant minds across the board. Hedera is headed by brilliant minds across the board. Ripple is headed by brilliant minds across the board. And Stellar is headed by brilliant minds. Understand that, right? Donnell Dixon is fighting every single day, all right? So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I love Algo. I can't wait. That next parabolic run is going to be explosive because of all the partnerships that they have. If we get regulatory clarity, strap on your seatbelt because an explosion is going to happen. That's how I feel. I don't expect you to feel the same. I'm not here to convince you of anything at all. This is not that kind of channel. I don't make anything from you buying Algo or selling Algo at all. So this is not that kind of channel. I'm just sharing my excitement, okay? Because I want people to be like, you're hyping it. I'm not hyping anything. I know what I hold. I know the partnerships that they have. I've done the research. I see where it's going. So, of course, there's no guarantees. That's not what we're here for. But as we follow the line of thought and we follow cause and effect and we see all the partnerships, that those are the causes, we can see the probability of the positive effects being very high. The percentage of possibility is very high for those the effects to be extremely good and have a handsome profit when it comes to Algorand. And you see how fast it can go up, don't you? That circulating supply is not that high for a bank coin. For a bank coin that's circulated. This is why, one of the reasons why Algo can take off so fast. And I expect it to. When the markets are doing a little bit better, hopefully the world can get itself, righted, so to speak. I expect that price to just absolutely explode and take off. So now that you have that, what the heck was my outro? Wait a minute. Hold on. It's early in the morning, guys. I've been up since 7 o'clock recording videos, so I may be a little bit off. What the heck was my outro? Now that you have the information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.